What's good, YouTube? It's your boy OG Nonboy back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the world champion Dancing Rob's team. And this team is a team that he used earlier this season that he had a lot of success with, and this team consists of Giratina altered in the front with Cresselia running Grass Knot in the safe swap position and Escavalier in the back. And Rise to Occasion earlier this season also made a video on this team, but instead of using the Grass Knot on Cresselia, he used the Future Sight to kind of use, like, since Cresselia is used as a safe swap, a lot of times you'll be met with a Talonflame, and he likes Future Sight better for the Talonflame matchup. But I kind of like the Grass Knot better, and in this video here you'll see a couple of scenarios where the Grass Knot actually comes in handy. So without further ado, let's get into these battles here. So first match, we have Giratina into Nidoqueen, and this is a very positive matchup. And usually with Nidoqueen, you see double dark in the back. So here we see the first dark type in the Obstagoon, and our Escavalier is going to be doing double super effective damage with the counters, but they actually receive the boost here. And this is a little scary since it looks like their counters are doing almost as much as ours now. But we still should be able to counter them down if we invest the same amount of shield as they do. But they get a double boost, so they come really close to taking us out, which is kind of scary, but we're able to maintain alignment thankfully, and we can get this drill run off on the Nidoqueen. And basically at this point we've just hard countered our opponent. So they do have the double dark line and they have the Scrafty in the back, but Scrafty needs to get to 3 foul plays to knock out our Cresselia, and we only need 1 to land on them to basically take them out. So at this point we're in a very comfortable position. All we have to do is, just finish up this matchup. And as you can see there, the Moonblast almost one-shotting the Scrafty, and even if they were somehow to take us out, like, we still have a very healthy Giratina, and the Nidoqueen is half health, so Giratina would be able to sweep up this matchup anyways. But the opponent kind of realizes that they're in for a bit of a hard time here, so after I throw this move here, the opponent is going to concede the match. So GG's to that opponent. Sometimes you just get hard countered, and there's not much you can do about it. But next match here, we were met with a pretty bad lead in the Tapu Fini, so we swap into our Cresselia here, and they swap into the Talonflame. So this is the reason why Rise to Occasion runs the Future Sight, and why you might consider running it, as sometimes you might be able to flip the matchup. But in all honesty, in this particular scenario, it's not really important for us to win switch back here, because the Escavalier and the Giratina both don't really have the best matchup against the Tapu Fini. With the Escavalier has a little bit of a better matchup since you're not taking super effective from the Moonblast, but neither of the matchups are particularly good. But here we're just going to stay in a little bit, finish up this matchup here, and we're going to get off the Moonblast. So they're going to hit us with the move to take us out, and we're going to have to come in with our Giratina now and basically attempt to farm down this Talonflame before they're able to get to another move. And now I'm just going to throw the Shadow Sneaks at the Tapu Fini here. So I'm going to stay in here for a bit longer. Like I said, our Escavalier also doesn't really have the greatest matchup, so I'm just gonna keep playing this out here. As long as we shield up the Moonblast correctly, this is a pretty okay matchup. So we call the bait here, and they have a Registeel in the back, so I bring in my Escavalier, and this ends up working out really well for us, especially since we are up a shield. They try to hit me with Zap Cannons here instead of the Focus Blast, but I mean, both of them I believe are neutral in this situation anyway, so the Zap Cannon having a chance to debuff us is kind of the more optimal move to go for, even though it does cost slightly more energy. So here they're going to throw another move. I'm just going to let it go. They throw another Zap Cannon, and at this point the game's kind of over, since we're going to be able to get to a drill run here before they're able to farm us down, and that is a good match for us. So a little bit of a risky bait call by us, but a lot of times when you have 2 shields up, it's really juicy for the opponent to attempt the bait. So we were able to call that, and that is a good game. So next match here, we have a Talonflame lead, which is very positive lead for Giratina. You can get a Claw off before they throw their first move if you want, but I like to wait until after they throw the Brave Bird. And they swapped into a Walrein, so we kind of hard counter them with our Escavalier, except for this matchup isn't terribly comfortable if they are able to land the Earthquake properly, so we shield this up. And I don't know how I feel about having shielded that up, because like if they let this go, they're gonna get a pretty nasty farm down with their Talonflame. So that's exactly what they're going to do here. I'm going to be able to throw a move, and in this scenario you do want to throw the Drill Run because the Mega Horns are double resisted, whereas the Drill Runs here, I think they might be double resisted as well, now I think about it, because like flying is immune to ground, I'm pretty sure, in the main series games. But yeah, actually you might want to go for the Mega Horn there, but because it has stab and it's just a better move overall. But doesn't really matter too much. Like, they hit us with a Brave Bird, and we save the shields for the Cresselia here. And now we see a Tapu Fini in the back. So this is what I mean by having the Grass Knot is pretty important in some scenarios. So, you know, there's never really one perfect moveset, right? Like, when you run a moveset, you kind of give something up in order to gain some other things. So it's really just up to what you think is best given your team's composition and that sort of thing. So Grass Knot here definitely helping us out in this scenario with the Tapu Fini in the back. And although we are a shield down and we ate a Moonblast instead of a Surf, we're still going to be able to outpace this Tapu Fini here, and this last Grass Knot should just about KO them. So I like the Grass Knot personally for Swampert and Tapu Fini matchups, so that's what I decided to run with here. And this is going to be the last match, since one of the matches that I played in this set, the opponent just basically lagged out at the front of the match. But this is kind of a masterclass on how to throw a game. So they have a Dragonite lead, and usually with the Dragonite lead they have some sort of steel type in the back. Typically it is the Escavalier, but in this case they have the, what is this here, the Galarian Stunfisk. And this matchup is going to be pretty annoying for us, since as you can see here, like, it's just going to be really long and drawn out, as both these Pokemon are very bulky and we're going to be throwing a lot of charge moves at each other. So they're definitely going to win this matchup, as they're taking only neutral damage from our non-stab Grass Knots, and they're throwing stab Earthquakes, which do a lot more damage, and they are also throwing neutral fast moves, whereas we're throwing resisted fast moves. And Psycho Cut in general is just a terrible fast move in terms of damage anyways. But we're able to get to a Moonblast on their Cresselia since they swapped it back in, and I bring my Escavalier in here since, I mean, this is kind of the ideal alignment, right? Like, our Escavalier doesn't do particularly well against the Dragonite in the front, and we would have to invest shields with our Giratina if we wanted to comfortably take out this Cresselia here. But this is where the mistake kind of comes in, and like, I still have 2 shields, right? And the Dragonite does really oppressive fast move damage, so I'm kind of just holding on to these shields almost for nothing, since as you're gonna see here, the Dragonite comes back in and they throw a move, and I also again don't shield here, right? So I'm going to be taken out before I can even get my move off, and then they're just going to be able to farm down both my Giratina and the Cresselia. So if I had just shielded, gotten the move off, then I would have been in a good position, since they would have likely had to shield that, and I would have been able to get to a move on my Giratina. So definitely a throw in that match there, and we were able to go 4-1 in the set. But again, one of the battles was due to the opponent lagging out, which isn't shown here. But overall, definitely a solid team. You can go ahead and try this one out if you guys like. And, you know, you can never go wrong if the world champ uses the team. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also submit your battles in the link in the description below. And I'll see you in the next one.